What if I told you your mind is secretly using clever tricks to protect you from stress and painful emotions? Tricks so automatic that you might not even realize they're shaping your thoughts, your decisions, and even your relationships. These are called psychological defense mechanisms, and once you recognize them, you'll start to understand why you react the way you do in certain situations. Defense mechanisms are unconscious strategies your mind uses to shield you from anxiety, fear, and emotional discomfort. They're not always negative. Sometimes they help you cope and get through difficult situations. But when used too often, they can keep you stuck in patterns that prevent growth, honesty, and deeper connections with others. In this video, we'll break down 8 of the most common defense mechanisms, explain how they work, and explore the ways they may be impacting your life every single day. Number 1. Denial. Denial happens when we refuse to accept reality, because facing it feels too overwhelming or painful. Imagine someone receiving a serious medical diagnosis but insisting they're completely healthy. Or a person in a toxic relationship ignoring all the red flags because the truth feels unbearable. Denial provides short-term comfort, but it often delays healing, prevents action, and allows problems to grow much larger than they need to be. Number 2. Repression. This occurs when the mind unconsciously buries painful thoughts, memories, or emotions deep below the surface. For example, someone who experienced trauma as a child may have no clear memory of it, yet they struggle with unexplained anxiety or nightmares as an adult. Repression allows you to keep functioning when emotions feel too heavy to face, but the feelings don't disappear. They often resurface later as stress, mood swings, or even physical symptoms. Number 3. Projection. Projection is when you take the emotions or traits you don't want to acknowledge in yourself and place them onto someone else. For example, accusing a coworker of being dishonest when you're the one hiding something, or blaming your partner for being jealous when deep down you feel insecure. Projection shields your ego from uncomfortable truths, but it creates unnecessary conflict and prevents self-awareness. Over time, it damages relationships by placing blame where it doesn't belong. Number 4. Rationalization. This is when you come up with logical-sounding explanations to justify uncomfortable outcomes or behaviors. For instance, after failing a test, you might say, "I didn't even study because I didn't care," even though the failure actually hurts. Or when you don't get a promotion at work, you convince yourself you didn't want it anyway. Rationalization protects your self-esteem, but it blocks honest reflection and keeps you from growing through failure or mistakes. Number 5. Displacement. This defense mechanism redirects emotions from the true source onto a safer or less threatening target. For example, you have a stressful argument with your boss, but instead of expressing your anger at work, you come home and snap at your partner or a family member. Displacement reduces tension in the moment, but it risks hurting innocent people in your life, damaging trust and creating unnecessary conflicts. Number 6. Regression. Regression is when stress causes you to revert to childlike behaviors instead of responding as an adult. For example, an adult slamming doors, sulking, or throwing a tantrum when they don't get their way. Regression may provide a sense of comfort or control, but it undermines maturity and can damage credibility, especially in professional or adult relationships. Number 7. Reaction formation. This is when you express the opposite of how you really feel in order to hide your true emotions. For example, being overly kind and friendly to someone you secretly dislike, or pretending you're confident when deep down you feel anxious. Reaction formation protects you from vulnerability, but it creates inner tension. Pretending to feel the opposite of your real emotions can be exhausting and prevent genuine connections with others. Number 8. Sublimation. This is one of the healthiest defense mechanisms, because it transforms difficult or harmful impulses into positive, constructive outlets. For example, someone who struggles with anger might channel it into sports, intense workouts, or creative expression through art or writing. Sublimation doesn't just protect your mind, it helps you grow. It turns emotional energy that could cause harm into fuel for achievement, creativity, and progress. Defense mechanisms are part of being human. They help us survive emotional pain, but they can also hold us back when overused. The key is awareness. Once you recognize the patterns, you can start choosing healthier ways to cope. So, which of these defense mechanisms do you notice in yourself? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more insights on psychology, self-awareness, and emotional growth.